What's up guys, my name is Brock, you're watching The Modest Man, and today I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why I think you should go custom for your next suit. Okay, right now, today, it is easier than it's ever been to get a custom suit without breaking the bank. By this point, you're probably aware that there are a whole bunch of made-to-measure brands. A lot of them are online only. Some of them have brick-and-mortar locations now. Probably the most popular of those brands, and today's video sponsor, is Indochino. Now, I'm a huge fan of custom formal wear, mostly because 90% of what I find off the rack at big department stores doesn't fit me. Hashtag short man problems. For that reason, most of my dress shirts and suits, including the gray suit I'm wearing in this video and this shirt, are custom. Now, this gray suit is my second suit from Indochino. After making a few little measurement tweaks to my profile after my first suit, I'm really happy with the way this one fits. It doesn't need any alterations, and I'll be using it as an example throughout the video. I'm also really happy with how this shirt from Indochino turned out. It fits pretty much perfectly. So if you've been on the fence about giving made to measure a shot, I want to tell you 5 reasons why I think you should. Okay, reason number 1, you get the perfect length. Now, the biggest fit problem I have when I get an off-the-rack suit is the length. And I'm not just talking about the length of the pants. You know, it's pretty easy to get a pair of trousers hemmed. I'm talking about the length of the sleeves and the jacket. If your sleeves are too long and your jacket's too long, it's gonna be very difficult, very expensive, and sometimes impossible to fix at the tailor. And the problem is, when that stuff is too long, it ruins the look. You know, it makes you look shorter than you are. If you're a guy that looks young, it makes you look younger, and not in a good way. It kind of makes you look like a kid playing dress up or wearing hand-me-downs. So even if you have a nice suit, perfect colors, everything else is good, if it's too long and the sleeves are too long, it's not gonna look good. Remember, style is all about those little details. Now on the flip side, if the jacket is the appropriate length, the sleeves are on point, you're gonna look awesome. You're gonna look put together, gonna look a little taller and leaner than you really are, gonna look really competent and mature. Well, my suit fits perfectly and the sleeves are the perfect length, just showing a little bit of cuff, the jacket's the right length. I feel like $1 million, you know, it really elevates my confidence. So if, like me, you don't have an off-the-rack build, then I think you should give custom a shot, because that's one of the best ways that you can control the length of your sleeves, jacket, and pants. Okay, the second reason I like custom suits is you get to control the proportions. Here's what I mean. Every little detail of your suit and your outfit should fit your individual build. So for example, if you're a big guy, you have big shoulders, big chest and neck, big calves, big feet, you know, you're gonna look good with wider, more substantial lapels, a bigger tie knot like a half Windsor, you know, a more traditional tie like maybe 3.5 inches. You're gonna look better with just a slight taper below the knee, not too much, you know, more of a straight fit. On the other hand, if you're a smaller guy like me, you're gonna look good with slim lapels and a small 4-end hand knot, a slimmer tie, and a more aggressive taper through the leg. If you nail these little details along with the other aspects of your outfit, like, you know, a watch that's the right size for your wrist, you're gonna look like $1 million, you're gonna feel great. And going custom is one of the best ways to control all these little proportions. Okay, the third reason I love custom is the fabric selection. Now, I'm not just talking about colors, although when you shop with like a brand like Indochino, you do have a lot of different color options, but I'm talking about all the other aspects of fabric, like the weight and the durability and the season. So for example, you know, I knew I wanted a gray suit because it's one of the most versatile colors you can have, but I also know that I live in a kind of a hot climate. I'm gonna wear this suit to a summer wedding, so I wanted something lightweight or medium weight. You know, I didn't want like a tweed or a flannel suit because I'd be sweating bullets. So I love the fact that when you go custom, you get to pick the exact fabric you want, not just the color, but also the weight, the seasonality, the breathability, and all that stuff, which is really important, especially if you live in a climate that gets really cold or really warm. And of course, you do get to pick the exact color or pattern you want too. I personally think that navy and then a medium gray are the 2 most versatile colors for suits. So if you're getting your first suit, I'd probably start with medium gray. Okay, reason number 4 is the customization options. And this is probably the funnest part about buying a custom suit. You get all of these little customization options. Like for example, with this suit, I went with pick stitching, which is just this little kind of detail that shows that your suit was handmade or is custom. I went with slanted pockets as opposed to straight pockets. I added a ticket pocket, which is just kind of a cool little detail. I went with no belt loops. I don't like to wear a belt with my suits. So instead I got side adjusters or side tabs. And then I added suspender buttons just to leave that option open to wear suspenders. I went with a contrast felt under the collar, which is just a fun little hidden detail. I went with custom monograms on the cuff of my shirt and on the inside of the jacket. And of course, I went with this awesome floral pattern lining on the jacket that I think looks awesome with the medium gray. It's a lot of fun choosing all these little customization options and kind of making your suit very unique and making it your own. And if you're like me, you'll probably spend way too long browsing through all the different jacket linings. So, definitely one of my favorite parts of going custom. Okay, and reason number 5, last but definitely not least, buying custom suits is a long-term solution. I'm not gonna lie, going custom isn't necessarily easy, especially if it's your first time. I mean, you have to figure out your own measurements, whether you do it yourself or you have a friend help. Unless one of you is a master tailor, you can mess it up, it's tricky. Now, one way to mitigate this is to go to an Indochino location because they have showrooms. They have a bunch of them now, so if you live near a major city, you can go to one of their showrooms and have a professional take your measurements, and that's gonna be a much better option than doing it yourself. But if you do it yourself, yes, you can mess it up, and your first suit might not be perfect. You might have to get it altered or remade, or you might just have to make some tweaks for your next suit. And that's okay, I had to make some adjustments between my first Indochino order and this suit. And the first one it didn't have to be remade or anything, it was very much wearable, but I just did some little alterations at my local tailor, and then I made the appropriate adjustments for this next suit. And this one fits much, much better. It's definitely, it's almost perfect, it doesn't need any alterations. So going custom does take a little bit of effort, it takes a little bit of patience, but in my opinion, it's totally worth it because once you dial in those measurements, getting a new suit is literally just clicking a button. You just sign on, go into your profile, you pick the fabric you want, you pick the customizations you want, you make any measurement tweaks that you need, and then you just click order. 3 weeks later, it shows up on your doorstep. Once you nail down your measurements, it's like printing suits. So if you have a little bit of patience, I think made to measure is a great option, especially if you don't have an off-the-rack body type. As you can see, I'm a total convert. I love custom formal wear. If you've already gone custom, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't tried custom yet, or if you've been on the fence, I really think you should give it a shot. So if you want to try Indochino, check the link down in the description. There's a little discount for you. If you have any questions for me, let me know down in the comments. And until next time, stay stylish.